Well, I'm going to tell you in advance that I'm sitting outside, and the video you're about to watch is um, me doing a painting of the outdoors. Last night, we were sitting at the First Friday Artwalk playing our musical instruments. When I say we, I mean me and Robin. I'll show you some video of that. And it was raining a little bit, not too bad. So I did a video of the area, and I got a screenshot, and that was my reference for the painting we're going to do today. And so it's a little bit busy. I don't know if it's a great composition, but I made a commitment to myself when I started doing Poppa paints that I wasn't going to hide when I did crappy stuff. I mean, this isn't the crappiest thing I've ever done, but it's not the best thing I've ever done either. But hey, I want to be in the same room as you virtually, is that the word? Or figuratively, whatever. And so, hey, I want you to know that we all do stuff like this. It's not bad, it's just not great, I don't think. I mean, it looks very busy to me. Can you see it up close? You see, I got these people on the, that kind of looks like a better composition, right? Instead of the whole thing. If I had just done that piece, you know what? It's not, maybe I should just cut the paper. Maybe just cut it. Anyway, all right. Enjoy the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I don't really know how this works. I hear other people in their videos say ring the bell. I don't even know where there's a bell. I don't even know how you know that I've already done a video or how there's a new one. All right. Hey, thank you for watching. All right, here, let's go. I'm on the porch. I got all the plants out here. I got Robin's swing, which is kind of cool. Look at that big cactus. I bought that cactus in Walgreens. That cactus right there. Look at the size of that thing. That's probably 4.5 feet tall. Anyway, I bought it when it was just a little tiny thing. I bought it like 99 cents at Walgreens. I bought it because my brother Bob lived in Arizona, and when he died in 2017 or 2019, yeah, it's been almost 5 years. So he died in 2019, and I went out to Arizona with Robin and my brother Bill and my nephew Chad and my brother Tom. And we cleaned out his place after he passed away, and I just wanted something to remember Bob by. So I saw these little cactuses in Walgreens, and I bought one, and I've been taking care of it, and it got so big. Anyway, so here I am outside, and it's early in the morning. I don't know what time it is, but it's not too early. And I got my setup here, so let me show you my setup. So first of all, I got the paper. I'm gonna paint watercolor. Got the water, that's important. I got the brushes that I'm gonna use. And I got my let me get them here, my two Winsor and Newton pan paints, which I've talked about many times. I just have a hard time opening them there. So there's my new set, and here's my old set. Hold on. Oh my gosh, it's hard to open. Well, it's hard to open when I'm working the phone. There we go. So I got the old one, I got the new one. And last night, Robin and I went downtown Ocala, and we played music on the sidewalk because they have a thing every first Friday of every month called First Friday Artwalk. And I don't sell my art, by the way. I don't even know if the people there know I'm an artist, but I like to play the music because I don't really, it's kind of like a hobby, and I don't ever play it anywhere else. Once in a while I do. But all right, let's get to the painting. Just thought I'd show you my little setup outside here. I think I kind of like it out here. It's nice. I got my coffee. How about that, huh? There's my coffee. You see a pipe there. I'm not going to smoke the pipe though. I have smoked the pipe, but I won't be doing that today. All right, let's get started. And gotta put this on here. Let's see if I know how to do this. I think you just do it like this. That's pretty cool. That worked out nice. Can you see it? Oh, it goes way over there. Okay. Let me make it a little bit closer. I think that's better, huh? You can see it better. Let me get the wire out of the way. I guess my battery, because I have a feeling this is going to be a long video. I'll probably do it in pieces because I don't want to run out of battery. So, all right, so let's get started. And last night it was raining at First Friday Artwalk. So I took some photographs of the area, and one of them showed people in the rain with an umbrella. So I thought that's what I would do. So I'm gonna put the umbrella people right here, and then basically just a reflective sidewalk and street and whatever's in the background. It should be a pretty easy one, I think. So I want to first get the top part wet. I want to make it like a nighttime cloudy sky, because it wasn't raining hard. It was just raining very light. If it was raining hard, we wouldn't have been out there. We had an awning to sit under, so the accordion and the mandolin that Robin plays were not getting wet. Oh, and today I'm not painting on a greeting card. I'm painting on this 9x12, I think, piece of paper. And all I'm really trying to do at this point is just get it wet. We'll try to, let's see if I get a little bit of blue up there. Just a tiny bit. That's good. We want it to be like a gray blue because it was a gray, cloudy night, evening. We play from about 6 till 9. That's the scheduled time, although, to be honest, we wrapped it up at 8 last night. You know what happens? I get tired. I don't know if Robbie gets tired or not, but I know I do. So I always had to bail out, wimp out. It's kind of, it's really enjoyable too. The people, we play right outside of a chocolate shop, and the people that own the chocolate shop are so nice to us. So yesterday I bought dark chocolate covered macaron. Is that how you say it, macaron? And Robin didn't know I was going to buy them. I went into the store, and I went in there with the intent of buying a hot chocolate for her and a coffee for me. But I told the lady in there, her name is Carrie Ann. I told Carrie Ann I'm going to get a chocolate for Robin, and she doesn't know I'm getting it. Because if I had asked Robin before I went in there, do you want something? She would, besides the hot chocolate, she would have said no. But everybody likes a treat, right? So I got one chocolate-covered macaron for Robin, one for me. All right, well, there's what I think is going to be the beginning of the sky. Just let it be less than perfect. And that's going to have to dry. So, let me see what I can do. I'm using a reference photo. And my iPad is where I'm looking at it from, but it's on the floor. So, on the floor of the porch here. So what I want to do is I want to make sure I keep room right here for that umbrella. I'll just sketch it in right now, I think, very loosely. There's the umbrella, and there's the people under the umbrella, just like that. And I want to make sure we get the reflection down here, and we get the sidewalk like this. It's kind of an angle with a vanishing point thing going on, and then the street over here. Yeah, I didn't bring a pencil out here, so just winging it here with the water. Yeah, that's easier to see. So maybe a little bit darker, a little bit higher. Then in the background, want some distant trees back here. Let me get some green in there. And then there's some palm trees also in the picture, but I'll do them later. Yeah, just let the water do its thing. I gotta remember the umbrella is right here, so I don't want to paint over the umbrella. Keep the umbrella kind of light colored right now until I get to it, then I'm gonna make it red. There's the distant trees over there, and there's some lights also over there reflecting. There, I think that looks good. I can go ahead and add the darkness to the street here. And there's going to be lights over here. There's a bright light over there. And I want them reflecting in. So I want to make sure I have plenty of areas where I can open it up for the light. The people are right here. So there's the umbrella. There's their umbrella. And there's the people. I'm just going to sketch in, I think, their legs just real quickly. I know it doesn't look like much right now, but that's my rough idea of their legs and their bodies. There we go. That's really two people. I know you can't tell. And then of course there'll be some reflections because they got water going on here. All right, let's get back to the street. The street's got a darkness over here, lightness, and then the grassy area right there next to the road. And of course the sidewalk has this kind of a look to it, I guess. So there's more than one area. Go ahead and see if I can get some green in there. Make the grass look at least a little bit green. Okay, so once we get it looking, the composition looking the way we want the composition to look, then it'll be a lot better. So there's a lot of lights back there. So I want to make sure I keep a lot of spaces there for the lights. A lot of white spaces. Those are going to be the lights that are reflecting down into the street below. Some big ones, some small ones. I'm not sure what they all are. Some of them are probably headlights. Some of them are probably just parking lot lights. Yeah. So Robin and I do the First Friday Artwalk every First Friday, right? That's probably the right way to say it. Yeah. And it's not truly every First Friday. It's every First Friday from, I think, do you hear the bird? It's every First Friday. Let's see. They don't do it in the summer, so I guess they go through May. So June, July, and August, they don't do it. It's too hot. Keep in mind we're in Florida, so they don't do it in First Friday, June, July, and August. I think those are the 3 months. So we'll do it, like this was March, so we did it yesterday, and then we'll do it again in April, and then May, right? And then we'll have 3 months where we're not doing it. So that's kind of how that works. Again, keeping lots of white spots here. And also there's some cars here. I want to make sure I don't forget to put the cars, because the cars play a role here. They got the red lights on the back, and those red lights reflect into the sidewalk. So get some of those. There's a tire. The undercarriage of the car. Let's see if we can get up here. It's more like an SUV, I guess, this one. Yeah, they're sharing an umbrella. It's kind of a cool thing, isn't it? Sharing an umbrella. Robin always offers me her umbrella. I don't take it. I'm too tall. I feel like I'd be in the way. I'd be in the way. She'd be getting wet. She'd be keeping me dry. I know her. She'd be more concerned about me getting wet, and then she'd be getting wet. So, see, I know how it works. All right, so this is the beginning of the car. Should we get the dark and the light? It's really mostly about the dark and the light. The umbrella's right there. There's another car up here. Also has the undercarriage is dark. And then the light of the car. And the trees. So it'll all come. It'll all happen. Just keep laying it all in. The car has the wheel on the other side, and that wheel is creating a dark reflection into everything. And the car has red lights right there and there. So those red lights are going to be important. Some of these trees more defined as that top part gets dry. That dry people's feet. There they are. It's hard to tell that's feet, right? But that's what that is. And then here's going to be the dark windows of the car. And there's going to be the umbrella. I think I should probably add some of the reds in so that I can see them better. So I'm going to go to this new kit over here, which is very cool. And go ahead and start to add the red for the umbrella. Let's see, here's the people. Here's the umbrella right here. And there it is. Let me just get that umbrella looking like an umbrella. get that a little bit darker. Get that little area of the top of the umbrella, a little bit of a shadow there. And behind it also, just to make it so it's not all one tone. And then, let me take some of this red also from the tail lights. So, make the umbrella have different portions, different sections, as umbrellas do. And then, let's see, we got this car here, and this car has red tail lights. And it's got that red tail light at the top. And it's reflecting into the sidewalk. So we want that. And then there's a car over here. It's got some red lights in the back, but also reflecting into the sidewalk, the wet sidewalk. And we'll fix that later. Anything I made a mistake on, we'll fix. Maybe there's a few red lights over here in this parking lot, I'm not sure. There's a little bit of reflection going on over there. Maybe there's something over here too. So we're just little by little putting it together to make the composition. So you see, now the composition is kind of laid out. What do you think? What do you think of that? I'm going to take a break and let it dry, and I'll be back to do more. Okay, while I'm waiting for it to dry, I just want to show you a few things. I want to show you the reference photo first, okay? Here we go. So there's the reference photo I'm using, and that's what I've got done so far. You can see it's still wet, and some areas around here are still wet. It's almost dry enough to work on, but I wanted you to see the reference photo. I also want to show you something that I wanted to do. I took this picture and I made it black and white. The reason I did that is so that I can clearly see the lights and the darks. Sometimes when it's in color, oops, oh, what happened there? Well, that must be a feature on the program. But anyway, sometimes it's hard to tell. Is that darker than that? Is that darker than that? I mean, you can tell the extreme ones, but if you put it in black and white and put your reference photo in black and white, you can see it a lot clearer. That's clearly lighter than this. This is clearly lighter than that. So I'm going to work with this now as I continue the painting. And I can also see that I've placed the umbrella too high. The car is too close or too big. You see the umbrella is actually higher than the car. And look how dark the car is compared to the people. So I want to make sure I get that right too. So right there. So we'll do that. I'm going to let it sit a little bit longer, then I'll come back. Okay? Okay, let's get back to work. I think my job now is to focus on the focal point, which the focal point in my mind is the people and the car. And as I just showed you, I've already made some mistakes on this, so let me try to fix that right now. So if I was to really study it a lot better, I would take this and make sure that this part of the car is considerably darker than the people, and also that the top of the car is there, not where I had it. So it's okay to do this. You can change it anytime, you know, and if watercolor won't work for changing it, you can always use gouache. You can always go back on it with gouache, which I'm not ruling out yet. You never know, by the time I get done, I might have to use gouache. But the car is not as tall as I made it. The windows right there. The umbrella kind of has a little bit of a curve right there. So I'm just trying to make it all make sense here. And the wheel is also, the tire is also more like that. You see how that is? And this area right here is just kind of dirty water, just kind of gray. I'll loosen it up Actually, this person, there's two people here. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pull it off looking like two people, but I'm going to give it a shot. This person is wearing darker pants than the shirt, so I'll keep that area dark. There we go. And this other leg coming out here. There we go. And then this is the person next to that person. And here we go with this. And then we have this whole area where this tire is. In the back of the car. So if I just focus on that instead of worrying about the whole big picture at this point, just get it. Try to do my best with capturing the look that I want here. And then there's this, let's see, the bottom of the car here. Again, there's some dirty water here. I say dirty water, it's just my way of saying gray, because it's, a lot of times you can just make it, just get it very watered down, whatever color you want, and do it that way. So it's kind of my way of doing it. And there's the other tire. This tire's here. And this whole area here, that's the grass near where the people are walking. And then you need to get rid of that, because the reflection wouldn't be in the grass. The reflection would only be on the hard surfaces like the street and the sidewalk. So I can use the water to lift that. And let's take the dark area again and get this car looking pretty good. So here's the other person. Here's the dark windows. And back here, you see there's some stuff happening over here too in the background that I want to make sure I get with the light. There's some lights over there that I didn't get earlier, so I'll keep that white right there. And then part of this will have the reflection of that. So just keep working it till we get it right. It's pretty much dark over here. There's not much to really see on this side of the car. But this side is clearly darker than the other side. So just keep working that. Get that other wheel looking a little bit rounded. And then get that shadow in there. And then across the street. Make sure we get that curb looking like a curb. And don't want to be too dark there. And then this car over here, well, let me finish this one first. So this car's here. This whole area is dark. You almost can't see much difference between the dark pants and the dark car, but there is a difference, a very, very subtle difference. So get it as best I can. I could always come back and fix it. Get that darker. The paper's still a little bit wet. The top part of the paper is wetter than the bottom. That part's wetter than this part. All right, now let's try and get that other car a little bit in there. See if I can get this person in here. The leg there. Again, these people have reflections also in the sidewalk, in the surface, in the water, the wet sidewalk. Looks like they were having fun, to be honest with you. They were having fun walking in the rain together, right? Sometimes rain is fun. And again, this would be reflecting here too. This over here. All right, let's try to get this other car over here. It's just the bottom of the car is very dark. The top of the car is very light. So all it is dark and light. So this car is here. There we go. I think we got the look of the car pretty good. There's also a palm tree up here that I could start adding a little bit, because I think it makes the picture, makes the composition way better. And it's going to take a little bit of water, so I want to put it in there now so it'll be dry when I get to it. Let's see. And I'm intentionally leaving it a little bit blurry. Out of focus. So there's the palm tree that you see there. There's a couple of other trees here too. Just want to get them all. Again, the dirty water technique. Just get the dirty water everywhere. And let me get back to this car now, because this piece of grass right here is pretty dark. As you come down here, it gets wider as you get away from the vanishing point. And again, let's just get some dirty water down here. Get it very watered down. All this stuff over here, there's a lot of things happening over here that are really undefined. They're just trees and distant things, distant buildings maybe. But they all make for the composition. And then what's amazing is your mind puts it all together, even though I'm not painting anything really. I'm just putting dots and shapes, but hopefully it will look like something to you and like something to me. So there's the car there. The other car here should follow a little bit of that vanishing point rule. So let's just try and figure that out. So if he's here and he's here, that's a taller car. Let's get this back window, this front window. Get some of these trees over here. Again, that would be coming down into the, everything gets reflected into the sidewalk. My brush is a little small for this. I should be using a bigger brush. But again, I'm trying to focus on the focal point and then work some of the other areas around it. Just to make it all come together. All right, let's get some of this area over here. You can see it's coming together. Some of these white areas over here that are going to be the lights that are reflecting in everything. There's lots of lights over there. There's a big area of tree over here. You can add a little bit of green to it to add a little bit of color. idea here is to get these lights to come down here. So the best way to get the light to come down here is to put the dark around it. I want this tree to come way up here. Way up into the corner there. So we have some real sense of some spatial things happening here. And I'm very, very loose, just keeping it loose. I want it to be loose. I want it to look like a rainy evening, which is what it was. It was a rainy evening. Not too bad. I'll put on this video. Robin took a video of me playing the accordion, so I'll show you a little bit of that on here too. If I can remember to do it. Gotta remember things. This is all gonna be those trees over there. Like I say, we can add some green, make it a little bit of color over there. Just let it spread it around. And a lot of this has to be very gray. So again, I'm going for the dirty water technique. Spreading it around, getting the lights and the darks. So we can see all these things here. This part, a little struggle here with this car here. That's all right, it'll work. Get some dirty water down here. See the water that I'm using in that cup, I don't know if you can see the cup. That's my water. So it's the dirty water I'm referring to, because the cup has already been used to clean the brushes, and it's got that dirty water look to it. And you can use that dirty water to get some of these grays into place. Let me use some of this over here. I like the way that palm tree came out. That came out kind of nice. Get some of these other trees here. There's some distant palm trees also. That probably is good right there. And this tree over here looks like it might be a live oak. I don't really know. It looks like it's across the street. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a definition, but not too much. A little bit of a limb look with some Spanish moss hanging on it, maybe. That might be what's happening over there. I can't remember. I mean, I'm sitting there all night long, but I'm not studying everything. You take pictures, you take videos, and then you look at them later on and you say, oh, I didn't see that. I didn't notice that. But yeah, there's a tree over here with Spanish moss on it, looks like. So, add some of that. Just keeping the light in the dark. And the dirty water is really going to make this picture. I think the best thing is to just keep experimenting with it. And don't forget to leave light spots. Don't cover it all with dirty water. Now here's the two people. I'm not sure. Looks like there's a hand here, an arm, and they're carrying the umbrella. All right, let me get all this dark over here. Again, we're trying to keep the darks and the lights so we can have everything reflecting. The reflection of the people. A little bit of that line that you would see in the sidewalk. Let's just keep getting this dark. Keep a little bit of a line there. Getting it dark. Okay, let's get some of this gray over here. Little areas with light keeps reflecting in the street. This car over here is not coming out at all. I'm not sure what to do about it. I might just not worry about it, but let me see if I can make it happen. The car should be very light. Remember, everything is relative, so it's how bright is it compared to the things around it. And I might use gouache to accent some of these things. It sounds like a good idea right now, because there's so much of this that's got just so many different areas. Basically just using the dirty water, most of it. Just get some of this reflected in the street here. See, the sky was pretty dark, but there was still a brightness to the sky. So some of that sky is coming through these trees. My mom, I think I see my mother. In my brain. So, anyway, that was weird to you, wasn't it? That's funny. Okay. And my mother passed away, so she's not here. But I felt like she was here just then. That's why I said that. You ever had that happen to you? I don't know. Am I weird with that one? I feel like she visits me sometimes. There we go. So all these are areas that will be reflecting down here. So that's why I want to make sure when I'm adding the dark to the street that I'm also adding the light from above here, because they're all reflecting down here. You can't paint white on white, but you can paint the dark around it. You can paint white on dark later on, but not with watercolor so much. You have to pace yourself a little bit, make sure you got it right. just kind of make sure that the darks are the reflections, and the light will then look like the reflections. That's the best way I can tell you to do it. Let's keep this dirty here. All right, let's get some of this sidewalk dark again. Some of these branches going further out. Keep working it. Just keep making it work. You'll get it. It'll happen. Just keep working it. Okay. Some of the oak trees around here are so gigantic. They look like octopuses, like octopi. Some of it just so big. Now keep in mind, my painting is not looking like the reference photo. It's really not. It's taking on a life of its own. It's kind of what I wanted. I wanted it to have a life of its own. But I wanted to make sure the lights and the darks were represented the best. And try to get some of these really bright areas to come reflecting off of the ground here. And make sure those reds were obvious from the taillights. I want these people to look good too. So there's a white shoe on that one. Looks like, or a light colored shoe. So there's the reflection. Here's the other leg of this person, which sort of got obscured for some reason. There we go. Looks like two people kind of huddled underneath the same umbrella. All right, I'm going to keep spreading dirty water because I want it to be very gray. I want the whites to stand out a lot. I do think I may have messed up that car there, so I might have to fix that with gouache. But a lot of these areas here, all these lights that I left can be made smaller now. I made them kind of big. You can always make them smaller. You can't make them bigger unless you use gouache. Just so you know. Yeah, so when I play, changing my brain here a little bit, when I play the accordion at First Friday Artwalk, I like when it sounds French. Robin plays the mandolin, and she's got that little trill thing she does on the strings, and the accordion in the musette register, I guess that's what it's called, sounds really Frenchy. Although it's, you know, it's kind of monotonous to use that musette like all night long. So I don't. I mix it up. There's a clarinet setting, which doesn't really sound like a clarinet. That's just what it's called. But it's, you know, it's got that high pitched singular sound, whereas a musette is like a couple of tones that are not quite in tune with each other. That was intentional. That's something that started like hundreds of years ago. Somebody figured that out. Now they do it with oscilloscopes or whatever, computers. But back then they did it by ear. Isn't that amazing? incredible. Try to get this tree. It's not completely bare of leaves, by the way. I just kind of started with it like that. A lot of stuff happening in the distance here. It's pretty cool painting outside. You get to hear all the cars going by. You get to hear the birds. Hopefully you're enjoying the sounds around me as I paint. All right, let's get this dirty water back here now. I might have to let it dry again and come back and paint over the dry paint. Probably what I'll do. All right, let's spread this a little bit with the water. And bring it down like a reflection. There's all dirty water here. All right, let's let that dry and I'll come back. All right, let me get back to work on this now. I let it dry probably about 40 minutes or so. And it's not completely dry, but it's getting there. I was looking at it and I was thinking to myself as I was comparing it to the reference photo, I was thinking that I could improve the depth of color in the sky. The sky should be more of a darker blue. So I'm going to use this soft brush here and let me get some of this blue from this other one here. This is the Winsor Newton kit that I bought recently. It's got the darker blue in there, so I want to darken the sky a lot because it wasn't that bright out really. And I think if I had just added this first, it wouldn't have worked. But adding it on top of the gray, on top of the dirty water, will help it darken it. I want it to be darkened because ultimately, I want these lights to be the brightest spot on the whole picture. And I also was considering, as I was looking at it, I was considering using the gouache to kind of touch it up a lot. And so we'll do that. I'll show you how I do it. We'll see if it works. You never know, it might not work. And then this palm tree could be darker. So you see how this is all working out now. Some of these darker areas, and this blue here can be over here by this tree, and it's okay to paint over it. Get that blue in there. It really works out nice. think it was a little bit too bright. I'm going to add some blue down here too. And that blue, since it's in the sky, it would be reflecting down to the street also. So, try to get it all, add some of that blue here in these tree limbs and get it down here to the street level. Reflecting into the sidewalk, I think, would make sense. Plus, I was using a black and white reference photo, and I was drifting towards making it a black and white painting, which I don't really want. But I do want it to be very grayed out, very gray. And so we're gonna try to keep some of those white spots there. Get some of this dark areas in this tree. Keep the tree there. I like that tree right there. And then there's another thing too I noticed, that I could probably make the umbrella a lot darker. It's a little bit too bright red, I think. So I'm going to add some water to it. And some of these pieces there. And we can add a little bit of more red down here to these reflections from the car. And let's see. Spread that out a little bit. The fact that I painted it all with watercolor means that I can reactivate the watercolor and move it around a little bit. Just a little bit. All right, let's just keep growing. Let's just keep making it happen here. Now this area here, I'll use a little bit of green. I'll try to get this. I think as the street is, that blue is really working nicely there. It's reflecting in. There's some lights over there that are reflecting over here. Some lights over here that are reflecting down. And again, where these people are. Get this a little bit gray there. If I can get this green grass to look a little bit greener than it does. Go ahead and add some yellow there. It goes back here. Oops, that's a little too green, isn't it? I don't know where that came from. I must have hit the wrong color there. Hey, it'll work. I'll make it work. Just water it down, make it dirty water. I think it needs a little color anyway. It's a little bit too monotone here. Let me see if I can figure out how to, I don't think that car is going to look good unless I use gouache. I'm going to have to do that a little bit. Go ahead and add a couple of dots of green here, over here. Mix it with the darker colors. There we go. it was a good decision to make the blue darker in the sky. Make that a little bit darker there too. The umbrella. A little bit less saturated, I think. Keep it red, but not brilliant red. Just, it shouldn't be as bright as the lights from the cars, I don't think. All right, now we gotta let it dry again, so I'll be right back. Well, now it's dry, and not happy with it yet, so I'm gonna use gouache. I have the Master's Touch gouache ready to go, and I got a little palette here I'm gonna put it in. What's in the palette right now is dried gouache, and one of the beautiful things is you can reactivate it with water, so I might use some of those colors too. In fact, I might use only those colors. And then, of course, white. White is always good to have as a large choice. And I just want this to look a little better. It looks okay, kind of abstract almost. But I think I want it to look a little bit better than that. And I think I can pull it off with gouache. We'll see. But in the meantime, it's kind of a hazy day here in Ocala. Kind of a hazy day. It is enjoyable being out here on the porch. There's that cactus I showed you earlier. See that rabbit in there, by the way? He's got a solar cell on him. And during the day it charges the battery, and at night there are lights on it that come on. Pretty cool, huh? All right, let's get back to work. Oh, by the way, isn't this neat, huh? This is what I'm holding my phone on. Not right now, but when I aim it at the picture. Okay, here we go. All right. Hope it's moving. Hope it's recording. So we're gonna, I cleaned the brushes. I cleaned the water, so I don't have any dirty water right now. And I'm just gonna try to redo everything. Not redo everything, just touch it up in such a way that I'm happy with it. So over here, let's see, I'll take one of these, the smaller brush, I think. And I'm going to use this, can you see the brush? To add a little bit of detail here to the people. And I'm just going to take this, reactivate that gouache right there. Just add a little bit of color to what's going on over here. I don't want to do it too, I don't want to overdo it. Just a little, a mixture of brown and pink. And because it looks like the arm of this person goes this way. And it looks like this person is wearing dark clothing, and so I want to get this right. Try my best here. Get some shade up in that umbrella. Just kind of use gouache like watercolor so it mixes in well with the watercolor that's on there already. Kind of spread it out. Yes. And let's see down here. I'm probably going to go back and forth between the gouache and the watercolor. So you see a little that pink that I added there, just kind of sets in there. Just wanted to get that in there. Maybe use some of that for this car that I didn't get very well over here. And this car, you know, I could use some of that white. I think what I'm mostly doing right now is just adding highlights and details, just to kind of get things looking a little bit better than they look. Like these lights here on this car, they could be bright. Over here, this car can be whiter looking. Just get it to look like a car. Right now it just looks like a blob. Right? Big blob. Get it to be a little bit darker on the side here. Hear that bird? Isn't that cool? That's cool. That's what you don't get when I work inside. You don't get that sound. All right, let me get some of this white now. I think this shoe right here is pretty important. You can see that shoe. There we go. Let's get some of that white across the road here. I think it's a brighter light over there, spreading out, and it's reflecting a little bit off the top of this car here. Like that. And again, we can take some of the reflections and bring them down here. And you get the reflections on the top of this car over here. A little bit of time, make it all come together, right? There. And we can take some of that white and give a little more definition to this tire over here. And maybe a little bit of reflective surface. Get that red. the red gouache will behave differently than the red watercolor. So I want to be careful not to overdo it. Get some of that red into this umbrella also. There we go. Just reactivating all the dried colors on this little plastic palette over here. And I want to get some of these reflections in the street and in the sidewalk over here. Now let's get some of that stuff in the background a little bit more defined. There's a lot of trees over there. And you can probably mix the gouache with the watercolor a little bit. So I took not a hair dryer, but I have a dryer. If you've seen some of the other videos, I have this utility dryer, whatever you call it, that we used to use when Rob and I used to make cassettes for children way back. Oh my gosh, it feels like a million years ago. But we used to record music for children. We recorded them on cassettes, and so we would shrink wrap them, you know, to make them look like you got them in the store or whatever. And so we had this heater. It's like a hair dryer, but it's very hot. It's too hot, really, for like the watercolor paper, because if you keep it on there too long, it will definitely burn it. It'll. I don't know if it'll set it on fire. It probably would, but I've definitely used it too much sometimes and got the paper brown, like it started to scorch. And so that's something I have to always watch and be careful of. Make sure I don't do that. But as long as you're careful with it, it works well to dry off the paper. And that's what I was doing, because it was taking too long. It's kind of a wet day today, kind of a damp day. Plus, you know, Florida's always humid, so there's a lot of humidity in the air, and it always takes a while to dry things. Like if you're in Arizona, things dry pretty quick in Arizona. I'm sure you have your own issues with humidity where you live. Try to decide what to do over here. I feel like that's a dirty water need, and I do have dirty water now because I've been using that cup. I almost don't want to see the front of that car. Take some of this yellow ochre reactivate it and get it right down here. Some of that right there. Make that grass a little bit on the yellow-green side. Spread it around. And later on when you look at it, unless you really look closely, you won't even notice I did that. All right, now let's go for the white. I have the white tube right here. So I'm going to use the white tube. I'm going to get it, keep it so I don't have to reactivate it so it's white. And I'm going to just see if I can mess with it to the point where I like it. All right, because there's some bright spots on this painting that need to be brighter, just brighter, like right there, and right there, reflection off of that, and then down here, I think underneath the car, needs to be brighter, where that light is reflecting, and maybe it comes over here. Let's put some lights over here, like maybe there's some parking lot lights here and there, and they're also reflecting into the surface of the street. Let me get the top of this car a little bit better than that. Yes. We can get some light on the side of this palm tree. There's a lot of lights over there, and they're not all, to be honest with you, looking at the reference photo, they're not all reflecting in the street. It's kind of a blurry photograph that I got, or a screenshot, because I didn't really take a photograph. I just did a video, and then I got a screenshot of it. But and then these people here, I guess they look good. I don't need to worry about them. But a couple of areas over here can have, right now I'm kind of just using what I think would be like artists' prerogative here, just to get some of these lights a little bit brighter. When you use it straight out of the tube like that, you can, as you can see, it really helps create the illusion that you've got reflective light happening. And that's what you want. You just want the painting to have a life of its own, to tell a story. That's it. That's what I need to say. The painting should tell a story. So what is the story here? Well, it's a rainy night, and there's people out enjoying the night together. They've got an umbrella, and it's kind of pretty, even though it's raining. And obviously people are enjoying being out in the city. And it's coming to life. You see how it's coming to life? I think I like the way it's happening now. So even though those are red lights on the back, I think the white helps make it look, I don't know, look brighter or something. I'm gonna do some more red down here. A little bit of red up here. Here, I'll put that red on that other tail light there. Yeah. Gotta make this umbrella look the way I wanted it. Before it was too red, and then suddenly it was just not red enough. I want it to stand out as a red umbrella. So, here we go, and the people walking. You should be able to see some of that red reflecting into there too. Let's get some more of that white before it dries up. It won't dry right away. It'll take a long time to dry. So let's just put some more lights over here. And Get some more reflections going. It's not really defined what those lights are. I'm sure they're just lights that are in the night. There's a lot of lights in the city, right? A lot of lights. There you go, there's the shoe. I think we see it now. It's starting to happen, right? Just a lot of places where the lights are on in the city. At this point, I'm not even really using the reference photo anymore. I think I got the idea. I know what I'm doing. I know where I want these. I know what I want light, and I know what I want dark. And I definitely want color. So I think this is working. It's reflecting too. Yeah, I think it looks all right. This car that didn't look good before is starting to look like a car, or does look like a car now. I think the only thing I want to do now is add a little bit more definition to some of these trees in the background. Just a little areas, some areas of darkness and brightness where the leaves are letting in light and the leaves are blocking out light. So I think that'll, whoops, my whole thing fell down. Jeez. All right, let me go get it. Hold on, I gotta move this. Oh man. Oh man, I made a mess. I made a mess on the floor. Robin's not gonna be happy with that. Oh gosh. Oh no, okay. Oh, I forgot to plug in my phone. I don't want the battery to run out. I'm just remembering all things here. Yeah, hope that worked. All right, well, I'll have to clean up the floor later. Can you still see the painting? Did I mess up everything? All right. Yeah. So the white is now a mess. It was on the concrete floor. Jeez. All right, well, let's just get back to this. So we have this light here, reflecting here. And just lots of lights reflecting everywhere. I don't know, I should get a bigger table maybe, huh? Yeah. There we go. You can see it a little bit. Yeah, it's starting to look right. I think that area by the feet of the people need to be a little bit smaller. They look like very big feet. So I'll take that and blacken it out. I am using black today, by the way. I have mixed feelings about using black. Sometimes black works well. Sometimes you have to, use another color to darken a color. By the way, a trick if you want to do a little art talk right now, you can darken, or better yet, desaturate a color with the opposite color. You can desaturate green with red, you can desaturate purple with yellow, blah, blah, blah. You know, take the opposite color and just desaturate it. And it works pretty good. You gotta be careful, gotta experiment a lot, but I think you get the idea. All right, spread that out a little bit. Yeah, so. All right, let me get back to where I was doing with these trees. A lot of the light coming onto the trees is coming from the ground up, because the sun is basically down, and the light that the trees are getting is mostly coming from artificial light. Get back over here. Some of this stuff faded away. So if you're from Ocala and you happen to be looking at this, or if you're familiar with Ocala, this is at the corner of Fort King Street, right? Fort King Street and First Avenue. So when we're not looking at First Avenue here, this is actually would be Fort King Street, and over here, out of the picture, is First Avenue. We're right outside of the chocolate shop. I probably mentioned that at the beginning. I've been taking so long to do this picture between waiting for it to dry and working on it. But anyway, that's where we are if you're in Ocala. That's where we were. That's not where I am right now. Nope. Right now I'm home. Home sweet home. On the porch. I like being out here, but I need to get a bigger table. I don't want to knock things over all the time. Okay, let me get back over here. Get some more of this tree over here, a little bit more definition. See, one of the things I like about working at the desk inside is that I have my computer on, and that's my reference photo. You know, right now I'm using the iPad, and it's got it gets off, so I have to constantly touch the screen to get it to come back on. So, but the truth is, at this point in the painting, I'm not using it that much. I'm not using the reference photo. I just wanted to see it a little bit to get the look of everything. Like I said, this tree over here has a lot of Spanish moss on it. And it's in the dusk, so it's kind of all obscured by the light and by the distance it is from where I'm sitting. But it's all about the composition, so let's make sure the composition looks good. I think that looks all right. I'm using the gouache as watercolor. I think I'm almost where I want to be with this picture. What I think I want to do now is I want to take this soft brush, this one right here. I like it. It's very soft Very soft brush. I think what I want to do is I want to get some more of this blue watercolor here and just kind of just add it a few places. Just get some of these areas a little bit bluer. Maybe even put some red in there too. So we have that brightness in the upper sky and the darkness in the lower sky. And it wouldn't hurt to add some down here, just to reflect it in here. It gives that sense of clouds, I think. Up in the sky, you see? See how it's doing that? The sense of clouds. Because it was raining. And so, if you make it look like it's cloudy, it might make for a better painting. And the blue would be reflected all the way down to here, of course. I'm using a little bit of red to make it purple-ish, so it looks like the clouds. And then we'll go back to the gouache and add some dark splotches. Make it look like the trees are a little more in the foreground than I have them. A little bit more over here. A little bit more character down here too. This little corner here has kind of been neglected in the painting process. I'll just grab color from the other areas that are wet. If you remember, I was using the dirty water to kind of paint this before. And how about a few more? We'll have some white left. Some little more dots, little more spots where there's some bright lights in the distance over here. Who knows, maybe there's buildings with lights on inside, right? I just like the idea of reflections. I think reflections are cool. Don't know why. If I could just fix that. I'm not so happy with that right now. Put a little brown on there maybe. Just a little. Darken it a little bit. Make it less red. Let me see if adding green will help. There, okay. Lots of reflective light. All right, I think I'm done. Now we just gotta let it dry. So we'll call it the rainy First Friday Artwalk. Let me take this off of here. Well, it is what it is. There's the mess I made, by the way. There's the mess.